Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to review the 2018 Netflix horror film Apostle. And this is another Netflix movie, guys. What can we say about this? They keep churning them out to varying degrees of quality, it has to be said. I think it's fair to say some of them are pretty good, some of them are very good, and some of them are not so good. What do I think of Apostle? Well, this is a bit of a mixed bag, this film. I think overall, I think it finally won me over. But there are elements of this film to be honest, I found a little bit dull. But what is this film about? Well, this film stars Dan Stevens and Michael Sheen and is directed by Gareth Evans. And it focuses on Dan Stevens' character, Thomas Richardson, who basically goes to this remote island to try and rescue his sister, who is being held to ransom by this strange cult, I suppose you could call it, who've got their own religion going on this island. So he goes there to try and rescue his sister. He gets there, he blends in with them, tries to be a good follower in order to do his investigations to try and locate where his sister is being held. He worms his way in, builds a trust of some, but actually, in actual fact, what's going on this island is far more dark and sinister than he ever anticipated, and he's got a job on trying to get his sister and himself off this island in one piece. That's I don't want to go into too spoilery territory here, guys. That's the basic gist of this movie. Now, where do I start with this? Because it is genuinely a bit of a mixed bag. The first negative I got for this film is it's too long. I think it was something like 2 hours and 10 minutes. And I think part of the problem with this film is it's set up. I don't mind slow burn films, generally speaking, but with a film like this, I don't think it helped it, because the first half of this movie I just found it a little bit dull and frustrating and a bit dull. Nothing was happening, and it got to the point where you're just like, just get on with it, I want to know what's going on here. So the first half of it, even though it looks great, it's all acted well, I mean it really does look good, this film. The cinematography is pretty outstanding here. This film needed a good 20-25 minutes shaving off it. I think it was too long. They didn't need this film to be as long as it was. However, I would say the last 45 minutes of this film were really intense and packed full of fairly brutal and shocking scenes, and it's where the horror elements really take off in this film. The first half of this film is generally more of a thriller. The second half is mostly full-on horror, and it does have some pretty intense, shocking scenes. It's got a very visceral soundtrack, this thing. It's almost like fingernails on a chalkboard. It got right under your skin, the soundtrack. So well, I'm not saying I like the soundtrack, it was very effective, I thought. There are elements of the film I found a little bit predictable. So yeah, basically you had Michael Sheen, who was the leader of this island, who was the leader that everybody worshipped and followed, but he had two disciples under him, and one of them, it was the stony faced, most miserable looking man you've ever seen in your life, and never had a nice word to say, and you just knew where his character arc was going to go. And then lo and behold, his daughter gets pregnant out of wedlock and stuff on this island, and you're just thinking, yeah, this ain't going to end anywhere good. So there are elements of this film that I thought you could put a pin in it and think, well, I know something's going to happen later with this character, and it kind of plays out how you expect. So whereas there are a couple of mysteries in this film that it doesn't fully answer, and it does leave you guessing, and there are a couple of things that are, nicely tense, and there are elements of this film that I thought were a little bit predictable and played out the way I expected them to. And this film as well, I thought, was quite brave at times. There are a few scenes in this film, 2 or 3 in particular, that stand out, that you desperately want to go another way. you're desperate, you think you'd please someone, step in here. Don't do what you're threatening to do here now. And it happens. The worst thing that you want to happen actually happens, and it makes it very hard to watch. And it was quite brave, actually. I don't think a lot of films would have, especially a Netflix film, which I thought it was quite brave for. A lot of films, I'm not so sure, would have carried it through. So there are a few turn your head scenes in this thing where you desperately want it to go another way, almost like get a better outcome, and it doesn't pander to you at all. So I do applaud it for that. So from my perspective, guys, at one point in this film I was thinking, I'm not sure I'm enjoying this, and then the last 45 minutes picked up to the point where I was really engaged in the film. So because of that, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10, because I do think the second half for this film really did help and save this film almost. The first half is just mainly a mystery thriller. The second half really picked up. So there you go, guys. I'm giving it a 7.5 out of 10. I thought it was pretty good, this film. It is worth checking out if you like this sort of horror. So once again, guys, thank you very much for watching. Hi, this is just a quick message from me to thank you very much for watching this video and for checking out the channel. Please do me a huge favour and click that like button. Please leave as many comments as you like on the videos, and of course don't forget to click that subscribe button. And if you do click that subscribe button, click the notification bell as well, so that you never miss out on any content that I put up on YouTube. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time on Screen Stars.